And welcome on into the 10-Pin Alley pregame show as we get set for the Dane County Bowl presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress. Along with Eric Rogers, I am Rich Reynolds. We are here at Monona Grove High School, and the theme of the night, it might be Jersey night for the kids, and it might be a hot-hitting night, and the Silver Eagles flying high, but the theme tonight is bug spray. You need it, and lots of it. Holy cow, the mosquitoes are biting hard, but maybe not as hard as Monona Grove Silver Eagles have been hitting. They haven't given up a point in the first half. They've scored a bunch of them. They're 4-0, and this team that has had to replace Alec Ogden has done so and has done so well so far.
Well, if you're just looking at these two teams based on record, you're going to look at this and say, well, this should be a pretty easy win for the Silver Eagles. They are the top-ranking offense as far as yardage in this conference. Fort Atkinson is on the lower end of that spectrum. But, you get a team that's hungry, like, obviously Silver Eagles are looking for a potential playoff clinch or at least get the 5-win mark. Fort Atkinson is looking to prove some people wrong tonight. So I think you get that into the equation. You get Coach Brady Gravold into that equation as well and say, hey, we want to prove we're better than our 0-4 record so far, so anything can happen.
Yeah, you talk about Coach Gravold trying to resurrect a Fort Atkinson program. They're off to an 0-4 start. They've scored 8 points all season long. What do they got to do to stay in the game tonight?
I think turnovers, if you can get some lucky turnovers, lucky breaks, get those kind of things coming your way and convert some first downs one way or the other. If you can get some of that, force Silver Eagles into some mistakes, maybe you get lucky and it rolls from there.
Hopefully we'll see some of that tonight. We'll see who will draw blood first besides the mosquitoes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nice.
I had to use it. So, hey, coming back, we're going to talk with the head coaches. That's next here on the pregame show on 57 Sports. Back on the 10-Pin Alley pregame shows, we talk to the coaches now, and up first is the head coach of Fort Atkinson, and that is Brady Gravold. And Coach, first year of doing this so far, not the record I'm sure that you want, but what are you looking at as you build your program at Fort Atkinson? What are you hoping to achieve with this team?
Yeah, we're just looking to compete. We got an extremely young team, so they're learning how to play varsity football, and it's just coming in every week and competing and, going for 4 quarters. I think the true testament to them is the record obviously isn't where we want it to be, but, the kids haven't quit and they've come, it's been our best week of practice. So we're just, like I said, looking to compete and, keep a competitive game.
Well, you're obviously a UW Whitewater alum and now coaching Fort Atkinson with those connections being so close. Coach Mahoney is now the AD there. So how much, it sounds like you've got a lot of, people that you can pull knowledge from if you need it.
Yeah, the process on this got started a little late. I didn't get the job till May, but, I think going forward and moving forward, being that close to Whitewater and having Coach Mahoney as a former Fort Atkinson head coach, and there's other good coaches in the building that, that's something to build on and for the years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And, speaking of things to build on, you talk about having a young team. Who are some of those guys that you are leaning on, some of the young guys that you're looking to grow this season?
Yeah. Well, one of our older guys, I'll just call him Jordan Flodine. He moved him from left tackle to running back. He's one of our best athletes. But some of our other young guys, Avery Roloff's our quarterback. It's his 3rd varsity start. James Vandermouse goes both ways for us. He's number 1. He's a wide receiver cornerback. So a couple guys that, need to step up. And if they play well, I think we'll have a shot.
All right, we'll ask you one quick question before we get ready for kickoff here, but what have you learned about your team so far?
Like I said, I think it's a true testament to them. A lot of teams 0-4 kind of pack it in and, don't show up and want to play. They quit after the first quarter, and I think if you watch our games, we've gotten better every game. It's just it's a process of getting these young guys up to speed and playing at the level that we need to compete in the Badger South.
Good stuff, Coach. We're looking forward to see your team in action tonight. Thank you so much for taking a few moments being on the show. We're going to be back with Coach Beckwith. That is next here on the 10-Pin Alley pregame show on 57 Sports. And we are back on the 10-Pin Alley pregame show as we are joined now by the head coach of the Monona Silver Eagles. That is Brandon Beckwith. And, Coach, you guys are off to a 4-0 start. Doesn't get much better than that. What have you guys been doing well? What do you attribute to this good start for you?
Yeah, well, it does get better than 4-0. I mean, we talk about a lot that 4-0 is a result of, that the scoreboard at the end of the day that says, and the guys within our program know that we haven't played nearly as close and capable as what we're capable of. So, we're waiting. We want to see us unleash a little bit, and I can't wait to see these guys have fun and just play football again.
So part of that would be your defense, obviously a big key to winning any game. You got your co-defensive player of the year from last year, obviously 7 all-conference honorable mention or first-team selections overall. So what's kind of the overall makeup of your team, especially on defense?
Yeah, our defense right now is really what we're holding our hat on. The last few years offensively, we've been obviously very strong. We still have the potential to be very strong on offense, but defense is really what's inspired us to keep fighting. I mean, we've been tight in some games, and really by them making some big plays, punt blocks, intercepts for touchdowns, just things like that. It just gives us that mojo to get things going. So thank you.
You talk about the offense having potential to get stronger. It usually starts with the quarterback then. What has Jordan Bishop done well? What does he need to work on?
Jordan's a great leader. He when he's out there, he hasn't had the opportunity to be at his best yet. And what I mean by that is, when Alec Ogden from last year was at his best, when everybody around him were at their best, so he can actually be a quarterback. So when he can start to work on the things that he needs to work on, right now, we're getting there. Our guys are working for him pretty well, but he's going to get there and he's going to be very good.
Excellent, Coach. Good luck to you. We appreciate you standing out here in the bright sun
luck,
before the game here tonight. And we're going to have the Blow and Smoke tailgating show. That's right up next here on 57 Sports.
An exciting time here at the sidelines of the Dane County Bowl. It is time to give away some pre-game awards. We're starting with the Monona Grove Football Booster Club. We have 2 folks here who have been great here in the community, giving back to their school through Monona Grove. This is Kelly Shanefield and Brenda Shanefield. Thanks so much for all that you do for the community. We're grateful that you're able to help.
Oh, and thank you for supporting Monona Grove Football and Monona Grove Football Booster Club.
We absolutely love covering our local high school teams, and it's folks like you that make all of this possible, because I know there's a lot of money that needs to be raised for these teams to keep supporting these types of programs. Starion Bank is here, Josh Resch is here, and he is actually going to be presenting the award, so I'll let you do the honors tonight, Josh.
Thank you, Jessa. Brenda and Kelly, on behalf of Starion Bank, we would like to present you with the Community Leader Award. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to the community. Thank you, guys.
So it's great, people like this and sponsors like Starion Bank that bring this all together and allow us to broadcast local sports here on 57. We're going to be back with more at the Dane County Bowl, so please stay with us.
Great way to start a balmy September night for football here in South Central Wisconsin. It's Fort Atkinson and Monona Grove. Coming up next here on 57 Sports. And the teams are taking the field as we get set for the Dane County Bowl. Our 3rd game of the season. It is week 5 already in the WIAA schedule. And the crazy thing about that is, Eric, that means once we kick off, we're over halfway done with the football season.
Yeah, it is crazy to think we're already halfway done with the season, or will be here tonight. A lot on the line for, well, maybe not necessarily in this game, but definitely when you think about what that means moving forward. And we'll get into some of the details here moving forward. But Fort Atkinson could take advantage of a big playmaker missing from Monona Grove's lineup tonight.
And we will talk about that as we get this game rocking, as Fort going to be getting the ball first. And we are underway from the Dane County Bowl here at Monona Grove High School, as a kick kind of bounces, being returned on the play by Brandon Zestrow. Takes it up across the 20 near the 25-yard line, and Fort Atkinson will go to work there. The Blackhawks have not scored yet in the first quarter of this season. Through the first 4 games of the year, they have been outscored 63-0. And, it's pretty amazing when something like that happens that you can keep on fighting. But Coach Graybold says, hey, his Blackhawks haven't lost heart.
Well, they haven't. They're definitely looking to prove that they're better than that 0-4 record right now. And one of the ways that they could win would be on the defensive side of the ball. One of the best offensive linemen in the conference, Michael Williams-Davis, is out tonight for the Silver Eagles.
Avery Roloff is the quarterback. He is only a sophomore. So you are seeing a very young Fort Atkinson team in action. They try to run option, and the give is going to be to the tailback, Jordan Floden. He is number 8, and he is brought down in the backfield after taking a step or two and a loss of 5 yards to start the night, and not how you want to get going if you are the Blackhawks.
Well, Rich, I want to see how the Blackhawks come out through this game throughout the entirety of it, because they have been running a spread offense for most of the year, or at least that was the plan coming into this season. And as you said, they go with that option format for the first play of the game. So we'll see how that plays out. It does appear they're going to have some wideouts here.
Yeah, kind of an option, kind of an RPO, if you will, when you run it out of the spread. This time the give is to Floden once again, and once again he is met by a flock of Eagles, as Monona Grove defense has been awfully good all season long.
When you look at the quarterbacks in this game, I mean, you have Avery Roloff is completing under 50% of his passes. He only has 64 yards on the season, no touchdowns, and the most interceptions in the conference at 6. So not necessarily confident throwing the ball yet this year, and we'll see if he wants to test that theory on 3rd and long.
Yeah, against the Silver Eagle defense, which, by the way, has given up a grand total of 0 points through the first 4 weeks of the season in the first half.
Yeah,
nothing, nada. Yeah.
Tough thing to overcome, especially if you're looking at those numbers and trying to find those nuggets of information. Maybe a piece of information Coach did not share with his team beforehand.
So 3rd down and a long way to go. Scoreboard's got a 3rd and 16 as you see it on the William Thomas Custom Jewelry scoreboard. Roloff throwing and nearly intercepted as it goes right through the hands of Jalen Ostrovsky. He is the tailback for the Silver Eagles, and he nearly scored a touchdown on defense with that one.
Well, Ostrovsky, unanimous first-team all-conference defensive back a year ago, also on the Wisconsin Sports Network Jim Leonard watch list coming into this season. But as you see, he is playing defense right now, but he has a heck of a lot of stats on the stat sheet this year for running back.
That is the kind of list you want to be on, as Peyton Spalding, one of the deep return men, he gets the football inside Blackhawk territory, lost it for a second, but scampers up the sideline and picks his way ahead to the 36-yard line. Terrific field position starting off the first drive of the night for the Silver Eagles, as they will look to put up their first points of the night. We'll get our first look at their quarterback, and that is one Jordan Bishop, who takes over for a very accomplished Alec Ogden.
Well, Jordan Bishop pretty darn good in his own right, completing 54.5% of his passes, 2nd in the conference in yardage, tied for 3rd in touchdowns, and just a single pick on the year.
Wow, good stuff, as the quarterback tradition, that is, continues here at MG. No tailbacks, now some movement, and Spalding's going to be the tailback to the left. Standing over to the right is Ethan Boehner, and it's going to be a fake to Boehner. Throw out to Spalding, makes the catch on the run, and it is going to be first down yardage, as a nice toss out there hit the tailback in stride. Jordan Bishop is 1 for 1 to start the night, and we have our first Courtesy Ford first down at Courtesy Ford. It's courtesy that counts.
Well, I think based on some of the stats, the numbers that we were looking at before the game, Rich, Coach Beckwith knows, hey, this is, we're going to say all the right things when we are on camera, but we want to really drive the stake here.
Give's going to be to Boehner, as he will step inside the 20-yard line, go down to the 19 or so, and that means it's time for us to head on down to Jessa, who is standing at the sideline right now. Jessa, who you got with you?
I have Michael Lowry, who's with Cobus and Buses. We are doing a sideline report thanks to Dale's Heating and Air, but Cobus and Buses is also a great supporter of youth athletics. I'm glad to see you on the sidelines with us, Michael.
Thanks for having me tonight.
Glad to have you. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to try and cover it quickly. One of the main reasons that we're working together right now is because you're having a campaign called, I got to look at my notes, but when the red lights are flashing, there is no passing. I love that saying, and it's an important one. Talk to us about why.
It is. We've seen a lot of people passing school buses with the red lights flashing, and that is so dangerous for everyone involved, for the motorists, for the kids, and we've really worked together with a lot of different agencies on trying to reduce that. And so we've come up with this slogan, when the red lights are flashing, there is no passing. And we've had a lot of support in getting that out there. And we would really like folks, if you see a big school bus with the red lights flashing, stop 20 feet away and just wait. It's not going to be that long.
It's not worth it. And some of these stories making national news with people making these mistakes. So you're here on the local level making sure this campaign is heard. Another thing we want to talk a little bit about is recruiting. So I had the privilege of actually getting on one of your school buses not too long ago. Boy, it brought me back. It was wonderful. But let's talk about your recruiting efforts.
That's right. We still are looking for school bus drivers. In our area, we're looking in Lodi, Sun Prairie, DeForest, and also in Baraboo. So if you are interested in coming to drive a school bus, I mean, it's not just taking the kids to and from school anymore. I mean, look, we're here at the game, and at every game, there's always a school bus driver. So this is a great thing, a great way that you can support our teams.
Yeah, these kids need adults in their lives from every step of the way, and that's an important role, whether some of those folks realize it or not, and I think you guys really get that. Beal quick before we get back to the game here, why support youth athletics?
You know, we're at every game, and we're at every one of the athletic events, and being community-minded, family pride in every ride is what we live by, and this is one way that we can give back to our community is by being here and supporting our athletics. So.
Family pride in every ride. Couldn't have thought of it better myself. Michael Lowry, thanks for joining us today. Thanks to Cobus and Buses for supporting youth athletics.
You're most welcome.
We'll get back to the game. Thanks, guys.
And thank you, Jessa, as the Silver Eagles on the march. 2nd and goal to goal as they are at the 5-yard line now. Bishop out of shotgun, going to give it to Boehner. Boehner over to the right side is near the end zone, and the touchdown as the refs throw their arms in the air. A 5-yard scamper right off of right tackle by Ethan Boehner, and the Silver Eagles are on the board first as they score a Geeks Mania Arcade touchdown.
Well, I think the outcome of that drive was maybe what some of these MG fans expected, but how about that, Rich? Passing on a field goal attempt instead, going forward on 4th down, converting.
Yeah, I mean, the Fort defense gave some resistance. They did force a 4th down on the drive, and the Silver Eagles said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and keep on trucking. Carter Tomczak in to knock through the extra point. He does just that. And with 7:59 left in the first quarter, Monona Grove leads at 7-0. You're watching the Dane County Bowl, and you're watching 57 Sports. Check out the replay now, brought to us by Bachman's Pool Spas and Saunas on the touchdown run as Boehner goes off a right tackle.
Well, that's what you're looking for, and we've seen some good seal blocks on the outside to get outside those tackles. We've also seen some, stutter step kind of going back the other way kind of plays, some hesitation, and obviously Coach Beckwith wants to, make a statement here early, going for it on 4th down, getting that early touchdown, and taking a 7-0 lead.
Absolutely. And by the way, if you're enjoying the broadcast on Facebook Live tonight, we appreciate you jumping on. It is brought to us by Ansay and Associates. They give you more than just insurance. They give you peace of mind. That's the Ansay way. So thanks for joining us on Facebook Live, or if you're watching here on 57 Sports, 7-0. The Monona Eagles taking the lead, looking to go to 5-0. On the young season so far. Kickoff by Tomczak is away and taken near the goal line by Jordan Flodine, and Flodine's going to keep powering ahead as he brings it across the 30 to the 32, and that's where Fort will set up shop once again, and again, looking for their first points of the season in the first quarter.
Well, their season hasn't gone according to plan. We can all agree on that. They did lose last week at Oregon 40-0, but I want to say sadly, I mean, it was an improvement on some of the losses they've had so far, so they are cutting down on their margin of losing in the games, so they are, finding some positives, finding some things that are, working for them, but a tough test and tough sledding against the number 6 ranked Monona Grove here tonight.
Yeah, luckily for them, the schedule's going to get a lot easier after this game, as Flodine's going to take the ball up to the 35-yard line. We take a look at their schedule. After tonight, they play host to Madison Edgewood, and Edgewood is 0-2 in the conference so far. Then they go to Monroe, and Monroe is 0-2 in the Badgers South. And then they host Milton, who right now is just 1-1. So maybe along the way, if the Blackhawks can kind of show that they got some grit, they start learning here a little bit, maybe they pick up a win in one of those next 3 games. Yeah,
I mean, let's not forget they could surprise us and come away with a win here tonight. And, it is going to be a tough task, obviously. But, yeah, you said, even if they do come away with a loss here tonight, there's definitely going to be some learning happening tonight. There are going to be some good things they can take to, with plenty of season left, and whether that results in a winning record or not, we'll see, but definitely some growing happening tonight.
Yeah, it would be a colossal upset, but they have happened before, as we have seen it, as a stoppage of play right now as the refs blowing the whistle. Not sure what's going on here. Now they reset as Fort's ready to go. They've taken a lot of time in between plays here, and I think it's well beyond the play clock, but somehow they are getting away with it right now, as it has literally been nearly a minute in between snaps. 2nd down, 7, and not much room there. Up the middle, it's going to be 3rd and long for the Blackhawks once again.
Well, Fort Atkinson has just a 37-61 record over the last 10 years here in the conference. Monona Grove, obviously, on the other end of that, I should say, 104 wins, just 18 losses.
Wow.
So a very successful MG program. Fort Atkinson, a team that's trying to work its way up.
We were there for one of those losses 3 years ago. I can remember it in a game at Oregon. And it was supposed to be Torrin Young's coming out party, and it didn't quite go as planned that night, as Oregon scored early and was able to hold off the Silver Eagles in that one. So 3rd down now, once again, Fort milking every second off the clock as finally the back judge puts his arm in the air. The snap is coming. Orloff looking to dance away from pressure. He cannot. And down he goes. It's an auto color quarterback sack. Unexpected collision, scratches, dents, and dings. Visit Auto Color. Small damage, small repair, small price.
Ryan Henos, the linebacker, 5'9", 177-pound senior, in on the tackle, and the success between these two teams, it's not well documented from Fort Atkinson's perspective. In fact, they've only met 10 times, Rich. Fort Atkinson has lost every single one of them, except for 2 years ago. They nearly won a game that went into overtime. It was a 57-56 loss for Fort because of a missed extra point.
Wow. That's heartache right there. As a bad punt, it got shanked as there was pressure on the punter. Monona Grove will start at the 46-yard line of Fort Atkinson, which, by the way, actually is worse field position than what they had to start their first drive. So MG going on offense again. I do want to thank A1 Furniture and Mattress. The big thank you to Paul Canarella and everybody over there. A1 Furniture and Mattress, your premier mattress and furniture store. All right, why don't we, before Monona Grove gets flying here, why don't we go ahead and keep it right here. I thought we had a sideline report going on. Instead, the Silver Eagles will start drive number 2. Bishop out of the shotgun once again, maybe kind of a inverted pistol formation as Bishop throws near sideline, has his man, and that is Cameron Reeder. Reeder, a junior at just 5'8", that's what he's listed, and he might be that if he's wearing high heels, as he looks like a little guy down the sidelines, but a good throw, and he is wide open.
Well, that kind of goes to the equation, the game plan coming into this game, and that's let's force some turnovers, let's really focus on punching that ball out, and you saw that ball come loose at the end of the play. It does go out of bounds. What Fort's done well this game so far is they've kept the plays in front of them, so no big gainers just yet.
Bishop 2 for 3 so far on the night, as the give is going to be up the middle. Is scampering ahead is Shane Duncan. His first carry of the night's going to net him about 3 yards or so, bring up second down. And now the Silver Eagles are going to go with some pace, trying to up the tempo of this football game. Fort Atkinson has done everything they could to try to slow this football game down.
I mean, again, we've seen this in past games on our broadcasts, and sometimes we've got one team that's just clearly younger than the other, and Fort Atkinson, one of those kinds of teams as well, and Monona Grove trying to take advantage of that.
Peyton Spalding has been busy early on. His second catch of the night is going to move the chains, and another Silver Eagle first down, and it is a courtesy Ford first down as well. We would also like to say hi to Cobussin Buses, as we saw Mike Lowry here earlier tonight. Don't get penalized for passing school buses. When the red lights are flashing, there is no passing. Cobussin Buses, which is a really good message. I can't believe that people would do it. Yeah. Completely idiotic, as this time it's going to be Bishop running that little RPO, and he decides that the best option was to keep it himself, as that was actually 3rd and short, as they had marked Spalding out just shy of a first down. So this now will be a courtesy Ford first down.
What makes a play like that successful, Rich, is when the quarterback is really committing to going straight ahead, keeping those shoulders horizontal and drawing the defender in, so the defensive back thinks this could definitely be a pitch. That's when you're successful.
And we'll send it back down to Jessa, who is ready right now. Go ahead, Jessa.
All right, thanks, guys. Here we are with the Dale's Heating and Air Sideline Report. I have 3 impressive seniors here for you. They are the senior class officers, and some good questions for these guys. The first question that I had, I needed a little refresher. I'm going to ask Christian, so what is it that you guys do? You do a lot.
Yeah, we plan the dances, and we also plan other events to try to bring the school MG community together.
Important things for the students and for the school. Now, when you are throwing these dances, there are some funds raised, so I want to talk a little bit about where that goes.
So when you start as a freshman class officer, you get a certain amount of money from previous senior officers. And then as you plan dances, you make money from ticket sales for those dances, and you help to fund more ticket sales, more dances, and more activities.
And this is Brady, so this is kind of the pay it forward method. You raise money for one dance, that goes to the next, and so on. So the work never ends. You got to keep going. Gabby is going to talk to us a little bit about the process, about how you become one of the senior class officers.
So in 8th grade, my best friend and I, we ran for officers, and she's the president, I'm the vice president, and then Brady and Christian kind of came along as the years went on.
Awesome. So you're actually elected by your student officers or your student body. So this is something that you essentially run for and then get elected for. I love it. Well, you guys are great. Congratulations, and thanks for all that you guys do here at Monona Grove. Thanks to Dale's Heating and Air for this sideline report. We'll get back to the guys up in the box. Thanks so much.
Excellent timing there, Jessa's Jordan Bishop nearly ran it in. Instead, he was brought down at the 2-yard line, as it is 1st and goal for the Silver Eagles from just 6 feet away. Gibbs going to be up the middle. Looks like Duncan, and Duncan is in as he goes right behind a good push in the center of the line, and that is a Geeks Mania arcade touchdown.
Well, real simple play, Rich. You just get your big guys pushing harder against the other big guys on the other side. You create one little seam to get your running back through, and you need just a couple inches. You get in there, and now you take a 2-touchdown lead, and you start to feel really good about your place in this game.
Shane Duncan coming into tonight had 1 carry for 0 yards, has 2 attempts for 5 yards and a touchdown so far tonight. Tom Zach's extra point, this one struck much better and good by 20 yards. 14-0, Silver Eagles. You're watching A1 Furniture and Mattresses Bowl Series here on 57 Sports. First touchdown of the season for senior Shane Duncan, and he got it from just 6 feet out as he went right up the middle. A big push there for the Silver Eagle line, and Shane Duncan just did the rest.
Well, at some point, you start feeling like as a defensive line, we've done our job. We've kept the big plays down to a minimum, but still, it's just great game planning. It's good talent. I mean, we've talked about the Silver Eagles have 7 all-conference players from a season ago. And Fort Atkinson, on the other hand, they lost 10 of the 11 all-conference members they had a season ago. So it's definitely a game of attrition. And this year it's Coach Grayvold coming in and definitely got some work to do to prove that they belong in this conference and hanging with MG.
One of the things I was struck, though, with when I was talking with Coach Grayvold, I mean, he's young. He definitely seems focused, and hopefully then he can grow with the team as he grows the program for the Blackhawks down in Fort. As just shy of the 30-yard line is where the Blackhawks will start drive number 3, and we would like to give a shout-out to 10 Pin Alley. More than just bowling, watch all Packers, Badgers, Bucks, and Brewers games at 10 Pin Alley in Fitchburg. Let the good times roll, and they also bring us the pregame show in each and every week, so we thank them for that.
Well, I always find it interesting, Rich, when you're talking about what these coaches, their personalities like. See, it's almost like we've seen this in each of our game this year. The winning coaches a lot of times just have like a low-key, super chill, like almost, I don't know, like they don't care. Like kind of that attitude is, I mean, obviously they do, but that's the way it kind of seems. Like they take like this sort of, that personality-wise that you wouldn't really think that players are bought into what their success is, for the program, but they must have just a different personality when they're in the locker room with their guys, but just so focused when they're out there and we're talking to them, they're almost like afterthought talking to Eric and Rich.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anymore, even in football, if that rah-rah, get in your face, yell at you guy, grab you by the jersey on the sideline, throw you into the game coach exists anymore, or if that works for younger players today. It's almost like they'd rather have the brown cow type coach, the one that's really calm, keeps everyone calm and focused.
Well, and you see it a lot of times, and especially with a team that wears cardinal and white in this state, the coaches like to let the players, some of the captains maybe, some of those guys be the hype up kind of people that'll get the team really juiced up for a game and let the coach just focus on X's and O's.
3rd down and 5 coming up for Fort. They are still looking for their first down of the game, as it has been all Silver Eagles so far tonight. And got to say, too, big crowd out for Monona Grove. They know how to pack them in to this place. A lot of support for what has been a really successful program.
Rich, we talked about this before the broadcast, and as you can see, if you get some crowd shots, it's Jersey night. We have theme nights, and the best part about Jersey night is even the team gets in on it. You're getting the players involved in a theme night. So
everyone's involved. Yeah, I absolutely love it. As that pass incomplete. Good hit as the Silver Eagle defense has been hitting hard as the Mosquitoes tonight. And that's just a wallop right there for you, and a nice job by that Silver Eagle defense to force a 4th down.
Trenton Herber came to scoop up that loose ball just in case. The linebacker there, potentially a scoop and score on that one, but he is an all-conference player from a season ago, co-defensive player of the year, also on the John Anderson watch list for senior linebacker. So definitely some studs there in the bluish-colored uniforms here tonight. But yeah, it's just a heads-up play, and you got to pay attention to stuff like that just in case the whistle doesn't blow.
Yeah, there's some decorated players that are on this MG team, and they are showing their stuff off early and often so far here tonight. As 4th down and 5. Looks like the Blackhawks are going to punt. As they get ready to do that, I would like to give a shout out to Blow and Smoke Barbecue in Wanakee. Kansas City barbecue, straight from Robert Bishop to you. That is Blow and Smoke Barbecue in Wanakee, and I love their stuff.
Those burnt ends, burnt tips.
Burnt ends, my favorite. And Robert Bishop, really one of the nice guys that you'll meet too. So, and he'll talk barbecue with you, which I like as well. And he'll talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
There you go.
He is a fan, and I'm sure he's a fan of Patrick Mahomes right now. He had a good first weekend. Did you see any of that? So the San Diego Chargers are now the LA Chargers.
Yep.
They play in a soccer stadium that seats about 27,000 people. It was a sea of red. I don't think there were any blue jerseys in there at all. The pictures from the game were nuts. It was all Chiefs fans. They were shouting defense, defense, when the Chiefs were on defense at a Chargers game. It was crazy.
Well, here's the little known secret there, Rich. I went to San Diego like a couple months after it was decided that the team was going to move. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing on beaches and boardwalks and stuff like that, Arizona Cardinals gear and flags hanging and everything. So apparently, the people in San Diego have just become Cardinals fans, which just maybe, is the red you were seeing when they went to
There
that
you go.
game.
And actually, this too, I found out. So a lot of Chargers fans from San Diego that were mad about the team moving will wear the opposing team's colors and go to the game and root for the opposing teams. So they weren't all Chiefs jerseys. There were a lot of red shirts in the crowd from former Charger fans who now root against
Dedication
the team.
to trolling.
Yeah, that's tough. As rolling out is Orloff, and he's going to be chased out of the pocket. And I tell you what, he did not make it back to the line of scrimmage, and that means that is a quarterback sack. It's an auto color quarterback sack. Is good pressure that time from the Blackhawk defense.
Drew Hebe, who actually plays the majority of his snaps on running back, has 24 tackles on the season. He had 11 tackles last week at Beaver Dam, 2 tackles for loss and a sack, and he gets another sack here tonight.
Why don't we go ahead and send it down for another sideline report. Jessa, it's all you.
All right, thanks, guys. Taking a little break
Atkinson.
here. Thanks to Dale's Heating and Air. I've got the band director joining us. This
Hey,
is
ladies and
Cara
gentlemen, don't
Collins.
forget
I
at
am actually
halftime tonight,
standing right in front of the band. You guys are
celebrate our
awesome.
youth
Thanks for being with us
programs
tonight.
here.
Thank you.
So
Glad to
stick
have you take a
around
break
and
with us. Boy, this is the Dane County Bowl. It should be the
watch
Mosquito
all
Bowl.
the
There's
youth
so many bugs out
dance
tonight.
team members.
We were spraying down before we started. I want
And
you
the
to
youth
share with
football
viewers at
players
home a little
as
bit
we
about how you
parade them
got
across the
into
field.
band as a director.
Also
You have
get
such a
to
cool
see our
background.
Thank you. So I grew up in the area,
Monona Grove
and when
dance
I
team.
started band, my teacher told me I had
And
to
our
pick
Monona
one
Grove
instrument,
marching band.
and I didn't want to do that.
Sounds
So
like
I
a
just
great
said that I would be
halftime
a band
show. Make sure you
teacher,
stick around.
and here I am. So this is my second year in Monona Grove. I absolutely love it, and my 8th year teaching.
Awesome. All right. And as I said, you guys are doing such a great job. You guys have such impressive students, too. It's like we queued them up just in time for this interview. I interviewed a couple of your students earlier who are senior leaders here, but I want to talk a little bit about why specifically Monona Grove. Some great kids and a lot going on here.
Yes. So these Monona Grove kids are incredible. I've taught at a few other schools, and they are the hungriest students ever. No matter what time I get to this building, they are already there, and they just want to learn anything possible, and they want to learn everything. So that's just been really neat for me that they're so hungry for knowledge.
Sponges, you might say. So you guys are here at the football games. You also do some concert as you get later into the season, but we appreciate what you do, Cara, for this school and this team and for taking a minute with us.
Jordan Bishop with a nice run.
All right,
up
thanks
to
for
the
taking a break with us here at the sidelines. Thanks to
46-yard
Dale's
line
Heating
of
and Air.
Fort
We've got lots
Atkinson.
more of the Dane County Bowl to get to, so we'll do that right now.
And thanks again, Jessa, as we got a look at Jordan Bishop scampering for good yardage on second down. It was second and long, and now it's going to bring up third down and manageable for the Silver Eagles.
Jacob Ehrman, number 54, the linebacker, came on what he was hoping was going to be a run blitz on that play. He evacuated the middle of the field because he mistimed and was blocked out on the play, allowed the quarterback to get out of the pocket and run and nearly pick up the first down.
Well, he passed a little bit behind Spalding. He still had 2 hands on it, and I got to tell you, I bet you even he feels he should have made that catch. He took a little quick peek, and once he took that peek, that's why he dropped the football.
We've got a downed Blackhawk on the field, face down, and
another injury on the field. Yeah, why don't we go ahead, take a quick timeout. You're watching the Dane County Bowl on 57 Sports. Injured Blackhawk was Hunter Underwood, who was able to make it off the field on his own power. And don't want to speculate on what the injury was, but kind of looked like he had the wind knocked out of him. That happens sometimes. Not a good feeling. As the Silver Eagles now on 4th down and 3, they're going to go for it as Coach Beckwith has been aggressive early on in this football game.
Well, I'm trying to find on the roster, as far as punts are concerned, to be Carter Tomzak.
And it looked like for a second Bishop was going to punt, and now he couldn't get the punt off. He goes down. It's another auto-color quarterback sack, and the Silver Eagles are stopped, and good field position for Fort.
Well, I did forget this detail, Rich. He is the team's main punter. He has 9 punts on the season, 35.9-yard average, and 3 are down inside the 20. So definitely has that ability to punt the ball. So a nice dual, triple threat, if you're able to have a quarterback who can do that.
Yeah, looked like one of those old-fashioned quick kicks. You don't
Right.
see those a lot anymore. And it looked like the quarterback, Jordan Bishop, was going to do a little rugby-style punt. Could not get it off. Ford takes over with a $1.26 left in the first quarter, trailing by 2 touchdowns.
Well, that does technically count as a turnover, so Fort Atkinson is winning the turnover battle here tonight.
There you go. Turnover on downs as it gives going to be to Flodine, and he's able to get some positive yardage and takes it into MG territory down to about the 47-yard line.
We've said a lot about the Silver Eagles tonight. Not as much about some of the young players on the Blackhawks roster, but some of these names, I mean, you're talking about a quarterback that's just a sophomore that, only will get more comfortable with the playbook as Coach Gravold kind of inserts more into this community and into his coaching standards here and what's to be expected of the team. And so you only can go up from here.
Orloff standing tall in the pocket, then got flushed out, and the ball goes right through his intended receiver's hands. That is James Vandermouse, and it is going to bring up a third down. Before we get to that, want to let you know that you don't have to leave Madison to experience real Italian food. Just go to Nono's on Whitney Way.
So if you're looking at Coach Gravold here, Rich, his first season 0-4 start to his coaching career, he came from UW-Whitewater, graduating in 2015. So the guy's really, really young. But he was a state runner-up as an assistant coach with Sun Prairie in 2017. As a player, a semifinalist for the Gagliardi Trophy for D3's top defensive player. So he knows what he's talking about.
Flag flies. It's our first flag of the night. It might be for illegal motion, as I believe that flag is going to be declined as Coach Beckwith is waving his arms. Getting back to Coach Gravold, I think it's the first coach that we've had this season, and maybe the only coach all season that we'll have that's younger than you.
I mean, and I look really young, and I'll keep that.
Younger, especially if you shave.
You know what? I'll look like I'm 17 if I shave the beard.
Yeah, that's true.
But Coach Gravold definitely bringing some, good experience, obviously, coming in, and a nice coaching background. And he's oddly enough, did you know this, Rich? He's a Vikings fan.
Uh-oh.
Born in Michigan. He's
so
a Vikings fan.
Well, I could see not wanting to be a Lions fan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But you have to skip across Wisconsin to become a Vikings fan. So he was actually invited to the Vikings training camp. So that's maybe part of the reason why he likes the Vikings, being that the Minnesota Vikings. So when he was trying to go into the NFL and become a player, he did get a camp tryout with the Minnesota Vikings. So I guess it comes full circle.
Yeah, I don't know why you would pass over. So I was thinking maybe he likes the jerseys better because he didn't want to look like a tractor when he wears a jersey. But then you pick that purple thing. That's no good. So that can't be it.
It doesn't really make sense to me, but I'll let him have it.
By the way, going back to the beard, man, I just got to say, the reason why I had to bring the beard up and we brought it into play here tonight, I'm secretly jealous. I wish I could grow one.
Why can you not grow a beard?
Oh, my goodness. It's a mess. It looks like something that even after a month of not shaving, there's just patches of stuff that if I was actually put some milk on it, a cat could lick it off. I mean, it's that bad.
But the goatee comes in so well.
The goatee's fine. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the goat works, and I kind of like the little, gray and black salt and pepper goatee thing, so I'm happy about that. Not that we have a GoPro up here so you could actually see us in the booth and, take full advantage of the goatee, but if anyone ever notices, I like the goatee.
You know what the secret is?
What's that?
Luck.
There you go.
Just dumb luck genetics. I know that's very helpful.
Let's get back to some football. 14-0 as the Silver Eagles have the ball at their own 42-yard line. First time that they're starting to drive in their own end, as this is going to be a give up ahead to Boehner, and Boehner is near first down yardage as he just kept plugging away as he crosses midfield.
We've called Jacob Erdman the linebacker, his number a couple times tonight. This guy has been putting in some huge effort with none of the result as far as tackles go, but he is going full bore for the quarterback every play.
Clock runs out on the first quarter. All Monona Grove so far in the Dane County Bowl. It's MG 14, Fort 0 here on 57 Sports. Amazing camera shots each and every week, as we are the only station that brings you high school football in amazing high definition. That's right. Welcome back into the Dane County Bowl. Rich Reynolds along with Eric Rogers here tonight from Monona Grove High School. All MG so far, as we expected, 14-0 after one quarter.
Well, maybe you expect the score to be that way, but the way that MG is scoring and what Fort Atkinson has been able to do as far as keeping the play in front of them, that's a definite positive. As this game goes on, they're not going to be necessarily mentally, checked out and saying, man, I let the ball get past me, I'm getting beat on the play. It's not that. If you're getting beat, not because you're messing up an assignment, but just because the other guy's better, you can live with that at the end of the day. I mean, you obviously want to win, but when you're looking at film and breaking that down, I mean, that's something to look at as a positive.
That's a great point. I mean, it's solid football being played by Fort right now. Yeah, they are younger. Yeah, they're not as accomplished. Yeah, it's a brand new program. They don't have the tradition that MG has, but they're not giving up the big plays. They're not getting the doors blown off them, if you will, right now, and that is a big positive and something to take away for Coach Graybold.
Well, how many times have we seen the Silver Eagles get stopped on 3rd down and have to convert on 4th down to keep the drive alive? So, I mean, that's just good, risky play calling by the Silver Eagles. So MG, or Ford, I should say, they're doing their job.
Boehner lines up next to Bishop in the backfield on 2nd down and 1, and the pass going to go off to the far sideline, complete, and still on his feet. Breaking tackles is Dante McConley. McConley with his first catch of the night, and it goes for big yardage as he takes it on up to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 21 yards and a first down.
Yeah, I always love plays like that, Rich, where you get the quick fake handoff and then the pitch outside. Get yourself some separation because of the maybe over-aggressiveness of some of the linebackers and defensive ends, and you get a play like that, move the chains.
Biggest gain of the night for the Silver Eagles. They are at the 30 of the Blackhawks. Play action. McConley had it again, but this time he could not bring it in. Took his eyes off it for just a second and dropped the ball. That's a second drop pass that we've seen tonight, and sometimes when you get a big lead going, you lose focus.
I mean, it's that stereotypical kind of saying, the cliche that you got to catch the ball and then run with it, but you're looking downfield, you think, okay, well, I can obviously make this catch, but Fort catches a break on 1st down.
2nd and 10 now for Bishop and company as little RPO action once again, and Duncan, who has been running the ball well, does so once again across the 20-yard line to the 19. That will move the sticks, and it's a courtesy forward 1st down.
You know who we haven't called their number on offense yet is Ostrowski, who's their leading rusher. We've talked about what he has accomplished on defense so far in his career. Maybe give him a break on offense and just make him a one-way player tonight. Not to say you look past an opponent, but you're seeing success with Duncan, so keep the ball in the hot hands.
That is Brady Killerlane, who is in the backfield now as a pass goes out to Spalding, and Spalding takes it for a short gain right there. So we're calling a lot of different names that we didn't expect to call tonight. Killerlane on the season, yeah, he's only had 9 carries all season long, so all of a sudden a lot of guys are getting some extra work.
I mean, it's still early in this ball game, but maybe part of the game plan for Coach Beckwith to say, hey, tonight's a good opportunity. Not that you, as we said, want to look past an opponent or necessarily think you're much better than them, but you want to get some other players involved and see what you have.
Just our second Cobusson buses flag of the game, and that is the first accepted penalty, and that's because it has to be. It's a false start against the Silver Eagles, and they will march off 5 yards, and that's actually something that's nice to see, too. When you talk about Fort and being a young team, they're not hurting themselves or not shooting themselves in the foot with stupid penalties and turnovers.
Well, and we've seen it how many times, Rich? I mean, it takes one big play to get the game going. The momentum could go your way. So if Fort Atkins gets, a turnover, a blocked field goal, something, they could certainly turn this thing around.
Absolutely, as flags fly once again. And, of course, as soon as I say we haven't seen a lot of flags, why don't we get another one, as it's a co-bus and buses penalty flag and yet another false start. And I tell you what, Coach Beckwith, we were talking about with him in the pregame show, they're off to a 4-0 start, should be flying high. He's like, those are just the results. Mm-hmm. He's not so happy with some of the little things going on. Flags is just one of those things.
I mean, and success is going to be, just that. It's when we're breaking down film, we're not just going, pat on the back for you, we got to win, so all is good. Now there's Erdman jumping again, so very aggressive the last couple drives, and this time biting Fort Atkinson in the rear end. 3
flags in a row. This time they march off 5 against the Blackhawks. It's the Blackhawks, that is, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 12 instead of the 2nd and 17.
You know what Fort Atkinson looks like with that number 54 and that color scheme and the visiting jerseys? I know you, as the Bears fan, it reminds you a little of Brian Urlacher.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that, as Killer Lane gets chopped down in the backfield by the aforementioned number 54.
So getting in on every play. So, I mean, he wasn't an all-conference, even honorable mention player a year ago, so maybe trying to prove those voters wrong a year ago and saying, hey, you're going to want to watch out for number 54. I'm coming. I got high motor, and I'm hungry.
3rd down and long, as the Silver Eagles looking to get into the red zone once again. Bishop, lots of time, throws over the middle, wide open receiver. Touchdown it goes to Peyton Spalding, a 22-yard touchdown strike. Bishop to Spalding.
Well, Spalding was facing one-on-one coverage. Fort Atkinson was in the nickel defense, and all quarterback had to do was find the one receiver that caught some spacing, and he saw it the whole way.
Yeah, lots of time for Bishop to stand tall in the pocket, and he went ahead and hit Spalding in stride for the touchdown. Again, 22 yards on the toss, as you saw there on the Bachman's Pool Spas and Saunas replay. Carter Tomczak out looking to convert on his 3rd extra point attempt of the night.
He's missed just 1 on the season.
Spalding, the holder, snaps good, placement's good, and the kick sails right through the uprights. 21-0 is our score. We will take a timeout, come back for more from the Dane County Bowl on 57 Sports. I know it's silly of me to be complaining about it being hot and mosquito-ridden tonight, because I know within a week or two we're going to be wearing winter coats and there's going to be frost on the ground as we're doing these football games.
You're such a diva. No, you're totally true. I mean, it's the weather we've been having over the last couple months here, and football season started with flooding and games getting moved, and obviously that breeds a lot of mosquitoes, and we're seeing with the warmer temperatures that coming back, and well, I guess that means it is fall football weather.
Yeah, some people got to put up with hurricanes. We put up with swells of mosquitoes.
Well, it's called balance.
There it is. Is that right? By the way, special thank you to the Red Zone. You can watch every game at the Red Zone Madison. Live music, Packers, Badgers, Bucks, Brewers, and the best pub grub in town at the Red Zone. 21-0 as a kick. It's going to sail to about the 18-yard line, and Fort looking to get something going on the return flow. Dean got hit hard and bent backward awkwardly at about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Blackhawks will set up shop.
Yeah, don't think the human body was meant to contort like that, but yeah, I mean, Rich, if you're Fort Atkinson, so let's look at the tape. You've done pretty much everything right. You get beat on a touchdown play now that it's 21-0. I mean, what are you telling your guys? Because, I mean, really, it's probably the best football they've played all year. They're playing a very tough opponent, maybe their toughest opponent they've played so far. So, I mean, how do you positively influence your guys?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I look at it and say, man, that's tough to do. When you've been facing an uphill battle, the schedule that Fort has been facing, so many young guys on the team, and you see it's really hard for them to get anything going on the ground so far tonight. I mean, if you're Fort, Yeah, I don't know what you say to the guys to keep them motivated. I do know Coach Grayvold's been doing a good job because they are putting up a fight. There's no quit in this team.
Well, I guess I might look at it from that perspective of, hey, this is an opportunity. You know, we're trying to find those guys who are going to step up and really make this team even better. So you almost use it as motivation for each and every guy to, you know, maybe selfishly play for themselves. But in the end, it does help the team. So for anyone in a position battle right now, I guess this is what you play for.
Yeah, whatever works. You want to get out on that field, and, man, you got to make some plays. That's what football is all about, as we are seeing, once again, a slow pace by the Blackhawks, and in fact, so slow, they're going to go ahead and burn another timeout. Their second one of the first half. It's 21-0 MG as you were watching 57 Sports. Right after the game tonight, we're going to take a look at the Rosen Nissan play of the game. You could take a spin in the new Nissan Rogue Sport today. Rosen Nissan and Madison off the Beltline, putting our community first.
We're also pushing those Nissan Kicks SUVs. Pretty new, compact.
I don't know if I've seen one yet out on the road, but I'm going to have to take a look. It's called the Kick?
The Kicks.
Kicks, okay.
Plural.
Sounds still like a good one to push during a football game.
There you go.
Gotta like that. Third down coming up for Fort Atkinson. Again, looking for their would-be second first down of the game so far. It's been tough sledding for their offense against a very stout MGD.
Well, I mean, what do you say when you're outmatched as far as accomplishments goes, and some of the experience that's on the other side of the ball, and you're on third and long, so I guess you play for these third down situations.
Not a situation you want to be in if you're Orloff. Went for the pass to the near sideline and through the receiver's hands. Would have been a tough catch out there as the outstretched arms of James Vandermouse. He is 5'11". He would have needed to be about 6'6" to make that catch.
Yeah, Ostrowski, the running back and defensive back, in on the play, and he has been playing primarily on defense here tonight. As we've mentioned, Jim Leonard, watch list senior running back, or defensive back, I should say. Also the number 7 defensive back in the state of Wisconsin, according to wisconsinsports.net. So certainly an accomplished player on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and also came into the game 1 yard shy of 500 yards on the season, but so far we have not seen him carry the football. Good return is streaking up the sideline for Ford is Cameron Reeder, and Reeder takes it inside the 30, almost to the 25-yard line. Maybe they'll say he stepped out at about the 29. Great return. Great field position for the Silver Eagles.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Coach Beckwith, I say, all right, guys, this is another opportunity for our guys to, continue to keep the pedal down to the floorboard. We're going to, stay hungry. We're smelling blood. We're in a good position here offensively to, if we want to try something we haven't done before, break something open in the playbook.
And there's a lot of blood. If you say they're smelling blood, it's because of all the mosquito bites out there tonight. You had that one right on your forehead.
I didn't know that it was going to pop blood like that. That's gross and a lot of details.
She got you good there. Play action as rolling out as Bishop, and he is going to be brought down hard.
Did he hand the
as
ball
the
off?
ball came out, yeah. I think the ball came out. No, he held on to it. Well, they almost acted like the ball popped out of there, but instead it was Bishop who had it the whole time, and it is an auto-color sack.
So as the clock continues to wind, MG in no hurry of putting up more points, but
21-0 is our score. Shotgun formation here. Bishop once again is going to get it out to McConley. They're going to get that 6 yards back as McConley is inside the 30, and it'll be third and long for the Silver Eagles.
Yeah, well, it kind of feels like there's not really any sort of urgency by Monona Grove to move the football. They obviously just want to take it one down at a time, and they're in control of this game, so it's just a matter of, hey, play at our pace of the game, and if it's 28-0 at the end of this drive, so be it.
3 wide for Bishop. He does have Duncan standing next to him in the backfield. Play action. Bishop rolling left, throws over the middle, finds Spalding. Great catch inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Spalding going up, diving, stretching out the arms, and coming down with the pigskin.
I am really impressed with this young man, a senior listed at only 165 pounds, but the man has gone up to catch balls like that. 10 receptions on the season coming into this game. 5th in the conference in yardage, 16.2 yards per catch.
That's some guts for Spalding going across the middle there, as you can really get some damage that way as Bishop right up the middle RPO, and it opened up like the Red Sea for him, and dancing into the end zone is Jordan Bishop with the 4th touchdown of the half for the Silver Eagles, who are flying high right about now.
Well, Fort Atkinson has been very aggressive on defense, calling up a lot of blitz plays, and sometimes it just comes back to bite you.
As it did right there. There was nobody home in the middle of the defense, and now a throwing touchdown and a rushing touchdown for one Jordan Bishop, who had big shoes to fill coming into the season, taking over for Alec Ogden, and so far, hey, no big deal, man. I got this, says Bishop, as he has been impressive here tonight. Carter Tomczak's good on the extra point, and with 6:55 left till halftime, it's all Monona Grove here on 57 Sports. All of our replays tonight brought to us by Bachman's Pools, Spas, and Saunas. And take a look at this one. RPO time, touchdown time for Jordan Bishop.
Well, that was exactly the kind of play you want to draw up if you're Coach Beckwith on offense, saying, hey, if Fort Atkinson's going to be that aggressive on defense, let's pretend we're going to fake. Well, let's fake. Let's pretend to fake. We'll go the other different direction. I don't know where I am. Score the touchdown.
We'll fake to the left. No, we'll fake to the right. Are you doing some water boy?
I tried to. It just didn't come out right.
I knew where you were going with that one. As ensuing kickoff after the Bishop touchdown, and it rolls to about the 15-yard line. And look out, as this is going to be the most exciting play of the night for Fort, and a big pop as well on the Silver Eagles sideline. A nice return, maybe even a nicer hit.
Getting a warm welcome on the sideline is Oliver Houston, the place kicker, making the tackle on that one.
Wow, and he's just a freshman as well, and he laid his man out as returning the football was Sawyer Stachel, and boy, he caught it from the place kicker on that one.
I didn't expect to see number 99 coming in on that play and making that hit, and then I was wondering why he was getting mobbed on the sideline. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense.
It's the freshman kicker making that tackle, and that was a nice pop right there. Houston, we do not have a problem with that hit. Gotta like that one.
That'll go on the highlight reel.
There you go. 6:47 now till halftime. We'll see if Avery Roloff and company can get something going with what is pretty good field position for them. Flag flies as going nowhere is Flodine, and there is just no running room available for anybody tonight for Fort.
Yeah, a tough way to play the game on offense when you're so one-dimensional, because, I mean, you've tried to keep it honest and, you know, make MG respect the running game, but it's just not there. You can't even establish a play action right now.
Illegal motion is the call, and that penalty is going to be declined. Brings up a second down, and we'll call it maybe 12 or so. Well, about 11 for Fort. Where are we next week, Eric?
That's a very good question, Rich. We are heading down south a little bit. We're going to be in Oregon, where a 2-2 Oregon squad is hosting a 4-0 Stoughton squad, the Battle of Highway 138.
As we stay in the Badger South Conference.
Absolutely.
It's actually kind of cool that we get to stay in certain conferences a couple weeks in a row and get to see the top of the conference, as Orloff's going to let it fly, and well, too long for his intended receiver on the play, Brandon Zastro.
So I'm wondering if maybe there was a miscommunication on what the assignment was, or if it was simply one of those, I'm not getting hit. I can throw the ball with cleanly, and the ball comes out and well overthrown.
You know, this was a conference in this Badgers South that for a lot of years it was the Monroe Cheesemakers that were at the top of the conference. Milton had some runs in there as well. Lately it's been a lot of MG, and look who else lately. The Stoughton Vikings have been pretty good the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, this is certainly going to be a storyline that we're going to talk about next week, and that would be that Coach Dan Prawl over there at Stoughton, he played for Oregon. His dad was a longtime coach at Oregon, and instead of, there was no opening at Oregon, so where do you go? You go over to Stoughton and you play for the rival across town.
Should call it the Dan Prawl Bowl. How about that? No?
No.
No, okay.
You are not on assignment for coming up with the names.
I don't get to name
I
bowls
appreciate
anymore.
the effort is there, Rich.
Yeah. You made it sound like it was a good idea.
Don't listen to me.
So, Jersey night for the MG students. Is it highlighter color night for the Fort students? There's a smattering of them over there in fluorescent colors as kick returned by Peyton Spalding, and Spalding is run out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
And you know what? I didn't really make that connection, but might be onto something. Maybe some retro gaming night or something, I don't know, or rave night, or I don't know what it is.
I'm sticking
I didn't
with
ask that
highlighter
crowd.
night.
Yeah, highlighter night.
I'm going with it. I don't know if that's what they actually call it, but those are the colors of highlighters that I've owned in my lifetime. Is there a lime green one? Yeah, I think there's lime green over there too. 1st and 10, Silver
I got
Eagles.
nothing on that, I'm sorry.
5:28 left until halftime as the Silver Eagles now trying to get it to that point where they can get it to a running clock in the second half. Shotgun once again for Jordan Bishop, who has been mighty impressive on the game so far tonight. He's going to give it up the middle, and the carry is going to go to Brady Killerlane.
Brady Killerlane not getting too many carries here in his season so far. Actually, Ethan Beener would be the second running back on the roster behind Ostrowski as far as yardage is concerned. He has 183 yards on 30 carries so far, but not too many carries for him.
2nd and short, we'll call it 2nd and 4. Killerlane the carry again, and he lost the ball. That's it. It got popped out as he got back to the line of scrimmage, and a mad scrum for it right now. It looked like Fort was on it early, but the down marker on the far sideline's going 3rd down. Nope, they're going to have to switch that to 1st down as the Blackhawks get a turnover.
And that's what we've talked about all game is you just need one play to go your way. I know you're down 28-0 right now, but something like that to believe in. And, hey, they're leading that turnover battle now 2-0.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Beckwith, one of these things you don't want to do is pat your team on the back too much for winning a game with this kind of a score. He can definitely point to, hey, guys, we got flags out on the field. We got dropped footballs out on the field with missed passes. And, oh, by the way, how about turning the ball over as well? You never want to lose the rock.
John Klatt, the sophomore linebacker there, in on the tackle. Or in on the fumble, I should say.
So new life now for the Blackhawks, looking to get something started here on offense. Last series they were going for big plays as Orloff throws and his receiver stopped running the route, as there really has been nothing to brag about if it's the Fort passing game tonight. A lot of miscommunications, a lot of broken off routes.
Well, that's what you'll see sometimes. It's a dangerous thing to happen. Obviously, when there's miscommunication or the receiver isn't where the quarterback expects him to be, because obviously you're throwing the ball where the receiver is expected to be, and a lot of times, more often than not, that ends up in the opponent's hands. Sometimes it goes for the other way.
Absolutely, as it's going to be 2nd and 10 now for Fort. Again, they have taken a lot of time in between each and every play. I'm not sure why you would bother now. The clock is not running, but they have tried to slow this football game down. And speaking of the ball being on the ground, this time Fort puts it there, and it's going to be a huge loss as Flodine's able to jump on it.
Well, Roloff obviously being very young, what you're seeing in some of the higher up leagues, college and the pro leagues, is the coaches will say, all right, well, here are some plays that I would like to call in this situation. You tell me which one you would prefer to call. I get to know what your preferences are, so I know when we go into the playbook, when we're digging through there, I know what you can pull off and what you feel comfortable with.
Loss of 9 on the fumble, 3rd down and 19. Clock running now inside of 4 minutes until halftime, when we're going to be doing our halftime show and revisit Jessa Jeremiah. As a pass is complete, but it's going to go for a loss, as that is going to bring up 4th down, and the punt return team's coming out for MG.
Yeah, you think maybe that should be a bubble screen, but it never really developed, and you start to just try to complete a pass and get some blocking downfield, but that play was not going anywhere from the start, and maybe even would have been better off just dropping it entirely.
Peyton Spalding is deep, as is Cameron Reeder, as Fort will punt once again, down by 28. There's been a lot of pressure on these punts tonight. Not so much this time, but still a low kick. But it's going to bounce, and I think Peyton Spalding's going to regret letting that one go. If he runs up and makes that catch, he might still be running. Instead, it takes a good Blackhawk bounce down to the 40-yard line. That's where the Silver Eagles will start when we get back. 28-0 MG on 57 Sports. Big thank you to Cousin Subs for feeding us tonight. I had a steak sandwich. It was delicious. Better bread, better subs, Cousin Subs.
It filled me up before the game.
Absolutely. It was good stuff. As give up the middle, going nowhere fast, as Fort starting to get a little bit tougher there in the middle, as we see our first carry of the night for Jalen Ostrovsky, the leading rusher on the season, and that puts him over 500 yards for the season, now at 501.
Haven't seen too much of him on the offensive side of the ball.
He's in the backfield once again. He will get the carry once again, and right up the middle, shakes off a defender, and now he's off to the races. Couple of good moves. Ostrowski across the 35 and brought down inside the 30-yard line, down to the 28. A pickup of 30 yards. Another big courtesy Ford first down, and the largest rush of the night for the Silver Eagles.
Well, that is why Ostrowski was moved from defensive back to receiver, or to running back, I should say. When you lose a good running back last year, you don't know who's going to fill that hole. Oh, number 6 is a pretty darn good athlete.
Absolutely. He's got some good moves and is quick to boot. We got an injured player down on the field, so why don't we step away, and we'll be right back to the Dane County Bowl on 57 Sports. $28-0, MG all over this one, as a 1st and 10 after a big run by Jalen Ostrowski. We didn't see him carry the football until the last couple of plays, but if we take a look on the replay, you could see what makes Ostrowski special. Well, not that run. That was the first run.
Yeah, he's the ability to slip through tackles, the move, cutback move right there, the vision, all things that make you a dangerous player.
Back to live action, as a pass was intended for Reeder and broken up. Nice defensive play out there by Fort to keep that from being another big gainer for the Silver Eagles.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little unlucky when the ball is up in the air that long and bouncing around like that. Could have wasted a big first down run just a moment ago by Ostrowski.
Our thanks to the Bank of Sun Prairie. 3 locations in Sun Prairie and Cottage Grove. Get your Sun Prairie Strong Bank card today. Bank of Sun Prairie, the right balance. They are a member of the FDIC.
Well, one thing, Rich, we haven't talked about yet.
As a screen here on 2nd down, and that is going to be decent yardage there as a pass is completed to Trevor Ogden, as Ogden goes down near first down yardage and near a Cobus and Buses flag.
Yeah, one of the things, as I was saying, Rich, that we haven't talked about yet as far as the coaching staff for the Silver Eagles. Yeah, you have Brandon Beckwith, who's obviously coached under Coach Stassi for a while, but how about bringing in Mount Horeb coach, or former Mount Horeb coach Ryan Kleppe, as an assistant this offseason, He had a 17-4 record in 2 seasons with the Vikings and a pretty successful program there. So you add another great coach to this offense, I mean, you're making this a dangerous team to contend with.
Yeah, great point right there. A talented staff for Coach Beckwith, as the flag is actually going to go against MG here. They will go ahead and walk that off. We're going to do some trivia here tonight. It is brought to us by League Trivia, team and league-oriented pub trivia. Play with yourself or with the team for individual nightly up to $100 and enormous tournament prizes up to 10 grand. Yeah, 10,000 large. That's good. LeagueTrivia.com in Stoughton. Join and start winning today. 28-0 our score, and after the 15-yard penalty that's marched off, it is going to be 2nd and 15 for Bishop and company.
So let's hit you with that trivia right now. What former Silver Eagle and school record holder is now leading his Big Ten school in rushing yardage, Rich?
As Ostrovsky on the run, thought he was stopped, is going to reverse field, comes all the way around, has a blocker in front, and another flag is down, and it might negate a great run, the type of run that we would have seen from that Big Ten rusher right now, who, by the way, I said his name earlier in the broadcast if you were watching. It was very early on.
That's a hint.
There's your hint right there. You would have to have been watching the whole game. I think it was still 0-0 at the point, so you've had to have been with us for quite a while, as it looks like this might have been another illegal block on the Silver Eagles. They're marching all the way back to midfield.
Yeah, gosh, I mean, unless it was some sort of a personal foul on the play that I missed, because the hold wouldn't have marched them back that far.
So it is a personal foul. It does go against MG, so they start at the 30, and that means they'll walk it all the way back to the 45-yard line. What really was the sad part of that one, it negated a beautiful athletic run by Jalen Ostrowski.
I mean, the good news, it's on film. So if we have to give him the film, if he wants it for his highlight reel, you can contact us. We got that for you. But, yeah, definitely a good effort play. And more often than not, when you see a player reverse field like that, you're watching for that dirty laundry to come out and say, please don't be a flag on the play, because of just how much effort goes into something like that.
No. We're going to get our trivia answer right now. By the way, in case you've been paying attention to Big Ten football, and we do a pretty good Big Ten wrap-up each and every week, brought to us by Jason's Deli if you watch the sports news. And we probably mentioned his name in one of these wrap-ups.
Maybe we have.
As it is Torrin Young, who rushes the football for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Torrin Young, just an outstanding player. And the game that you were alluding to was the loss to Oregon a couple of years ago, the one that we've covered, and he did not have his best game. In fact, that was the only game that season that he didn't go over 100 yards.
Yeah,
he had 10.
We were building it up. We were looking forward to it, and that Oregon defense that night was just outstanding. I mean, there was nowhere for Young to go in that one. It was unbelievable, and a great win that night.
Get this, Rich. He still finished that year with almost 2,600 yards, which was good enough for 18th in the state single-season list.
Yeah, all-time history, amazing, as he has been incredible, and he's been very good for Kirk Ferentz and the Iowa Hawkeyes, who the Badgers have to face at Kinnick Stadium in 2 weeks. So a long way to go. 2nd down and 26. Pass is complete and brought down on the near sideline. That is Dante McConley with another catch. And it is still 3rd and long, but at least it's a little bit more manageable. So we'll call it 3rd and maybe 15 here.
What you don't want to do here if you're Monona Grove is just be content. You know, if you can continue to try to force, well, I don't say forcing things, but, you know, you definitely want to come away with points. You want to convert first downs. You don't want to just feel like, you know, we're up 28-0. I mean, the game's pretty much put away, because as we saw last possession, you know, get that turnover, it can change some things.
Screen set up here, and they sucked him in really good. Did the Silver Eagles, and still on his feet and driving towards the end zone's Killer Lane, who's going to have a first down and goal to go. What a nice job on the screen by that offensive line. Great job by Bishop selling it all the way, and then Killer Lane breaking a tackle to get a big first down.
Well, and Killer Lane wasn't even a guy, as we've mentioned, someone not really on our radar coming into this game as far as a threat on offense, because he's mainly made his efforts on defense. 25 tackles, a TFL. He does have 9 carries coming into this game in the season, plus a touchdown, but not the main guy. And look at the hands on that one.
From the 7-yard line, pass out to McConley as
Nice
he could
play.
not get away from a nice open field tackle, and that's going to bring up second down.
Brett Taranga Jr., he stayed with his man and nearly over pursued on that, but just caught some shoestring and was able to bring the receiver down. Nice job by number 4.
Second and goal, ball resting at the 6-yard line now, inside of a minute for our first half. 3 wide receivers out to the left for Bishop, as he is going to do some RPO again going straight up the middle and near pay dirt, going to be held just shy as he is brought down at the 2. Third and goal to go.
Well, this is looking like a good situation for Fort. If you can hold him to a field goal attempt, or maybe even the clock runs out, that is a victory.
All 3 timeouts remaining for Coach Beckwith. He has chosen not to use any here as the clock running just about 20 seconds, and now inside of 20 seconds for the first half. Bishop, handoff up the middle. It's Killer Lane and into the end zone. Touchdown, Silver Eagles, with 14.6 left on the clock.
Oh, that is a killer. If you're the Blackhawks, you have just some hope here hanging on at the end of this half, and now you're seeing hands on knees, hands on hips. That one really killed him mentally.
And a good way to finish off the first half for the Silver Eagles, who did have a turnover, a couple penalties, not the best execution here in the first half, but definitely good enough to get some big plays and open up what is now a 5-touchdown lead on the Blackhawks. Spalding puts it down. Tomczak knocks it through. 35-0 is our score, as we're going to take a look at the replay on the touchdown, as the fans here at Monona Grove High School are celebrating yet another one. Killer Lane, nice little cutback, and he was able to drag Flodine into the end zone.
I'm trying to keep track, Rich, of how many different Silver Eagles have scored touchdowns, and that is 5 different players to score a touchdown. So everyone getting in on pay dirt tonight if you're wearing that dark blue color.
Boehner, Killer Lane, Bishop, Spalding, and also on the pass that we had as well as the touchdown went to, who am I missing?
So I got Boehner, Duncan, Spalding,
Duncan,
Bishop,
that's
Killer
the
Lane.
other one, yep. Duncan with the rushing touchdown, thank you. And I did have that marked down, I just missed my mark on there.
So this would appear, so that 35-0, it's a tough place to be because defensively now you start that second half with a running clock.
Yeah, you do, and that is just one of those things where you kind of wish as a coach, I mean, you're happy to get the game over with when you're losing by that much, but you kind of want to give some other guys shots to play and get more playing time so you can get ready for next week as you kind of use it as a second half to gear up for that. So kickoff is going to come down to about the 7-yard line and fielded there by the Blackhawks, who will get it across the 25, and the clock will stop just shy of the half at 6.6 left.
So we expect just a kneel down here most likely, and then we will call it a half, and we'll come back with the halftime show, of course.
Jessa Jeremiah has some guests who are going to be standing by, and you'll want to stay tuned for that, as it's 35-0 MG. They are looking to improve to 5-0 on the season and also wrap up yet another playoff berth, as they will stay atop of the Badger South Conference, and we'll see if they're going to be there alone or if Watertown, who's 2-0, or Stoughton can go ahead and keep pace with them.
And those are the teams we're looking out for, and those were the favorites coming into the season, so chalk so far, Rich.
That is the end of the first half. All MG so far, as it's time now for our halftime show. And once again, we send it down to the sidelines and Jessa Jeremiah.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Yes, that is the end of the half. We have a lot of show coming up for you. Thanks to A1 Furniture and Mattress and Prairieland Towing. We've got a fabulous halftime show. Can't wait. We are going to hear from some of the students. In fact, you might see him eking into the camera shot right now. Monona Grove is sporting jersey night. We've got Fort Atkinson with Neon Night is what it's called, and I can't wait to have some of those guys down here. We've also got probably one of the cutest half times about to start as we are at another youth night, and the dance team is ready to go. We're going to be chatting later on with the dance coach about how they prepare for that, and the marching band. So a huge jam-packed halftime show thanks to A1 Furniture and Mattress and Prairieland Towing, and thank you for watching. We've got all that coming up next here at the Dane County Bowl. All right, welcome back to the A1 Furniture and Mattress Dane County Bowl. This is our Prairieland Towing halftime show. The Monona Grove Silver Eagles are here. They are excited. They have every reason to be. So why do you guys choose to come out and support your team?
Football games are just a huge part of the high school career, and it's fun to support our team and our friends, especially in our senior year.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. You come down, you support your team, you cheer them on. You also have a theme. What's the theme tonight?
It's jersey for tonight.
Now, of course, I have a feeling you're going to say Monona Grove when I ask who's got more school spirit. Is it you guys are Fort Atkinson? The Silver Eagles got it, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. Show it off.
We are the Mighty Eagles. We are the Mighty Eagles. We are the Mighty Eagles.
Well, if that doesn't prove it, I don't know what it is, but we'll get Neon Night, the Fort Atkinson guys over here in a little bit. We've got more halftime show coming up after the break, so stick with us here at the Dane County Bowl. Welcome back to the A1 Furniture and Mattress Dane County Bowl. We are having a great time here at halftime. Some fabulous supporters that just came down from the stands. I also hope you're watching the actual halftime show. The dance team is out on the field right now. It is youth night here, and I hope you got a chance to catch the little ones out there. We're going to talk a little bit with the dance coach. Her name is Molly. A little bit later on in the game here about a lot about how they practice and what they do to really get ready for these performances, but also a little bit about youth night and how these older high schoolers really support the up-and-coming dancers. It's a really great story. I can't wait to share with you later on in the show. It is youth night here, the second youth night that we have covered in our broadcast at the A1 Furniture and Mattress High School Football Bowl Series. We've got more of the halftime show brought to you by Prairieland Towing coming up after the break, so stick with us.
I've been moving calm, start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me.
All right, so you guys are watching the Prairieland Towing halftime show. Lots of great performances. We've already watched the kids dance. We watched the high school group dance. We now have the high school marching band that is about to get going on the field. We were able to talk to Cara Collins a little bit earlier today. Hope you caught that. A great band director who has really been in music all her life, directing here at Monona Grove for the last couple of years, a director for 8 years, but really a part of music and band throughout all of her years as youth and in youth band herself. Doing a great job. I'm actually set up right in front of the band here. Not on the field right now, but in fact next to where they've been sitting throughout the entire game. Really an excellent group of students. I can hear them supporting each other and cheering each other on. And later in hopefully our halftime broadcast, but certainly our broadcast here tonight, we're going to be giving away a Student Community Leader Award. And that award is going to go to one of the members of the band that is out on the field right now, a student who is homeschooled and has taken a special interest in helping both high school students and middle school students really succeed, particularly in percussion. So a lot of great students that are out on this field right now marching in marching band. I'm glad we're able to highlight it, and thanks so much to Prairieland Towing for helping us do that. You're watching the A1 Furniture and Mattress Dane County Bowl. This is your halftime show. Couple of folks in Green Bay Packer jerseys supporting, and I can't tell you how cute this is. I hope you're catching this up top. This is just great. So this is youth night here at Monona Grove. We've got lots of Silver Eagles in the stands supporting their teams, and a lot of kids out here really supporting their community. Parents are watching. I wish you could see their faces because they're watching their kids run across the field and be a part of youth night. It's really special. I do have another interview for you here during halftime. We're going to catch up with the team photographer, another supporter who has some students here, and I can't wait to introduce you to Lori Dahlhauser. So we're going to talk to her next during our Prairieland Towing halftime show. Thanks for sticking with us today. Welcome back to an exciting halftime show. This is the A1 Furniture Dane County Bowl. We're taking a break for halftime thanks to Prairieland Towing. You can probably hear the excitement in the stands because we have had an exciting halftime show. Now we're going to give away an important award. It is our Student Community Leader Award. This award is brought to you by Dental Health Associates. This award is going to Jet Bailey, and I've got Cara who's joining us back again. You can just watch them perform during halftime. Cara, you've helped us select Jet tonight for the Community Leader Award for students. Why did you select Jet?
So I selected Jet because he is one of my students that is just always hungry to learn more. And not only has he decided that he really loves being involved with music, he actually comes to the middle school 3 days a week to help out and share his love of music with the middle schoolers. So I think that's awesome that he helps our high schoolers, but he also helps middle schoolers. And he is the most humble person I've met.
That's what you said when we chatted earlier, that very humble, but the first person to step up and really help his fellow classmates in the band. I want to go ahead and present you this award on behalf of 57 and Dental Health Associates. So here you go.
Thank you.
Congrats. I'll shake your hand. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for the entertainment. I've been enjoying it here on the sidelines. And Cara, that was an awesome halftime show. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, that is our Student Community Leader Award. We'll be back with more Prairieland Towing halftime show. Stick with us. Welcome back for one more Prairieland Towing halftime interview. I promised the team photographer, and I finally caught up with her. She's been pretty busy tonight, as you can imagine, taking photos. This is Lori Dahlhauser. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
So I've seen you very busy this evening, lots of photos to get, and your son is here as well. So you are not only here as a photographer, but also a mom. You've got twins that are at the school.
Yes, they're on the freshman team, and I still take pictures for the freshman team, and I got drafted to take them for the varsity team. So I'm here all the time, pretty much.
Very busy. Why do you choose to be such a big part of your school?
Well, first of all, I have 2 kids. They're going to be done in 4 years. I love to take pictures. And Monona Grove is a great school. There's awesome parents and great kids, and I just like being a part of it.
You get extra points for dealing with the mosquitoes tonight. We've given away a lot of bug spray here on the sidelines.
It didn't help. I have mosquitoes everywhere. It didn't help.
Well, thanks for taking a minute. Thanks for what you do here at Monona Grove. Thank you for watching our halftime show. This is brought to you by Prairieland Towing. We're about to get back to our second half. Thanks so much.
And time for the second half of the Dane County Bowl presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress on our High School Bowl series. I'm Rich Reynolds standing alongside Eric Rogers, who is providing the color here tonight, and we will have some to give you in the second half as this game pretty much decided as we kick off half number 2 with MG up 35-0. It would take for Fort maybe having Aaron Rodgers out there, some really bad play calling by the coaching staff on the other side, and a couple of lucky breaks to pull this out for Fort.
Well, it certainly would, but this job doesn't come easily. No one, I'm sure when Coach Gravold was interviewing for the job, they said, look, I mean, this is a program that's, we lost our head coach who's now our AD, so there's definitely that connection there, but there's a long way to go. So just know that it's not something where you should expect immediate success in year one. So he did come in, taking over this job, and the reason that he did come over to Fort was because his old defensive coordinator over at UW-Whitewater is from Fort Atkinson, and his dad was a former coach here.
Cameron Banky is the new quarterback. He will hand off to Killer Lane to start the second half, and no gain there for Killer Lane, who had a touchdown in half number one. We will have a running clock as long as MG maintains this 35-point lead here in half number two.
And Banky on the handoff there, he's only thrown 3 passes this season, completing 1 of them for 37 yards.
MG has had a lot of big leads so far here in the season to give right up the middle to Killer Lane once again, and he is brought down. As on the season, Monona Grove has outscored their opponents 145-21 coming into this game. So it's now 180-21 on the season. That gives a lot of time for a lot of guys on that second and third string to play.
Well, and you brought that stat up that they have not given up any points in the first half, and that streak continues tonight for Fort Atkinson. They've only scored 8 points offensively this whole season, and so far not adding to that total, so looking to change that here in the second half.
And Fort is yet to score a point in the second half as Banky's pass is caught, but out of bounds. A nice diving grab there by Cameron Reeder, but unfortunately he could not drag a toe in bounds. That is going to bring up a fourth down, and we are actually going to see the MG punt team out there. We have not seen them yet tonight.
Well, just a little bit of history between the two teams. Fort Atkinson losing each of the previous 10 meetings. They've been outscored 390-139, losing by an average of 25.1 points.
That'll continue as Carter Tomczak is going to line up to punt the ball away at his own 25-yard line. Tomczak also does all of the place kicking as well, and that's a good punt.
Wow, that might be his better one on the season.
High end over ender, and it's going to take a Fort bounce, but a good job on the coverage team to knock it dead at about the 26-yard line. Good punt there by Tomczak as Fort will start their first drive of half number two.
2 punts on the season for Tomczak. He has not had any fall within the 20-yard mark on the season, and this one just shy of that mark. But yeah, it's certainly a second half of not even really any adjustments to make, Rich, if you're Fort Atkinson. You just kind of stick to your game plan, and I don't know if at this point you just kind of concede the fact that you're probably going to lose this game, but if you can score a touchdown, maybe you start looking at things differently when you break down film tomorrow.
So we see a carry by Flodine. Once again, he has been the workhorse. There's just not been a lot of room for Jordan Flodine. And it's kind of interesting as we talk about it, as Coach Gravold was talking about, this guy was the starting left tackle and is now the tailback. You don't see that very often.
Definitely knows the blocking assignments. So, I mean, when you're talking about a running back that can, do some things in the passing scheme, I mean, you're protecting your quarterback in a couple different ways.
Drew Hebby is the new quarterback for Fort. He is a senior, 6'2", 194 pounds as he takes over for Avery Roloff, the sophomore who went through the first half, and there just wasn't a lot of syncopation there. No, it actually is Roloff. I apologize. I thought I saw Hebby back there. Hebby's the tailback, and Hebby trying to throw a block in there. Not much there at all, and another loss of yardage for Flodine as the Eagle defense has been flocking all night long.
Well, that's Silver Eagles team. They've made 22 playoff appearances, going 39-19 with 3 titles, 1977, 1984, and with Coach Stassi, 2013.
And Coach Beckwith would like to get there again. He had a shot at getting a state title, couldn't bring it home, but it's really been a successful run so far for Coach Beckwith. All right, third down and long coming up as the pass is complete behind the line of scrimmage, and that is going to bring up fourth down. And once again, we'll see the punt team for Fort.
Yeah, you're 3 and out here to get your first possession in this second half. So, yeah, seemingly content to, well, just play this game out as if it's kind of already over. You're just going through the motions at this point.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Grable, you got to look at it and say, hey, score's 0-0. Let's build on something, get something moving for next week. Again, the schedule's going to change a little bit. A lot of the hard games are out of the way for Ford as they're going to be hosting Madison Edgewood next week. Both should be looking for their first victory in the conference, as the punt's going to come down at about the 45-yard line, and that's where MG will have the ball. When we get back, you're watching the Dane County Bowl on 57 Sports. Big ups again to A1 Furniture and Mattress for keeping us on the air each and every week and each and every year. A1 Furniture and Mattress, your premier mattress and furniture store.
All right, so this is not a joke, Rich. This is not just because you mentioned A1. Got a table delivered from them, so
yeah,
got some
beautiful
new dining room furniture.
Love it. We bought a couple beds from them, so yeah, I definitely like to support them, and we thank them for always supporting us. As we see a carry by Shane Duncan. We haven't seen him carry the ball since the first half when he scored his first touchdown of the season, but Duncan with a good gain on first down. Yeah, all of our supporters tonight, and again, if you enjoy watching high school football in high def, hey, you know, you got to support these people that have been supporting us, and A1 Furniture and Mattress has been there basically since the beginning. Great supporters of our high school bowl series, as once again it's going to be Duncan as a flag is down. This is the third week of us doing games, fifth week of the season, and you know, we have seen a running clock in the second half in each and every game we've done so far this year.
I mean, call it coincidence, Rich, but it just has turned out that if your team is being covered by Channel 57, there's a good chance that you're either going to win big or you're going to have a tough night.
Yep.
So you cross your fingers and hope it's for, you know, the former.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to break that trend a little bit, and I'm guessing we will next week. Oregon hosting Stoughton. That should be a good one in the Badger South.
It should. I mean, Oregon doesn't have as many wins as Stoughton does. I mean, they're 2-2 overall, Stoughton 4-0. But those teams always play each other tough. So it doesn't matter what the record is. That's always a good rivalry just down the road from each other. So, yeah, a good one to look ahead to.
After the penalty, it is second down and 14 as Banky looking to throw the ball all day in the pocket. He's going to let it fly deep downfield and incomplete, as the intended receiver on the play was Sam Hepp, who, by the way, is 6'7". When he went by me out on the field, I remember thinking, boy, I used to be considered tall. I was like 6'2" in high school, and I thought that was a good height to play football. 6'7", he dwarfed me.
How do you think I feel, Rich? All right, I'm under 6 feet. Let's say that.
Yeah, he is a big kid, as Hepp unable to bring that one in. It's going to bring up third down and 14.
So if you are watching this on the Facebook live stream, some of these scores will matter to you, as we do have some scores rolling in from across the different conferences. What a catch!
Another long pass, and it is going to go for 6. A beautiful toss from Banky as he throws it out there to Cameron Reeder. Reeder hauls it in as it goes for a 59-yard strike and a touchdown.
Well,
wow.
Then you think the Silver Eagles are just going to take things easy and not really try too many big shots downfield, and what do I know?
Yeah, well, you got to figure. I mean, Cameron Banky really, and, it sounds kind of cliche, he's one play away from being the starting quarterback. And anything can happen in football, and it often does. So you've got to be ready to make plays, and Banky is definitely warmed up and looking the part here tonight. 42-0 MG. We'll be back on 57 Sports. $42-0 is our score, and it got that way here in the second half. thanks to the strong arm of Cameron Banky, and what a catch by Reeder. Well, that's the wrong replay. That would have been the incomplete pass to Hepp.
Definitely taking some shots downfield here tonight.
Absolutely. As we'll see if we can come back and get that replay, as here it is once again, Banky lots of time and then firing and connecting with Reeder, who breaks the tackle and goes.
Well, so much of that is concentration to haul in a ball like that. And you say that and it sounds like a pretty cliche thing, easy thing to do if you're a receiver that's practiced this day in and day out. But if you've ever been there, Rich, the ball's coming at you, you have to catch it. There's all this commotion around you, and to haul in a ball like that and break a tackle and score, that's just impressive.
Yeah, nice athletic play. 6th different Silver Eagle to score a touchdown tonight as Cameron finds the end zone. And on the kickoff, Fort trying to bring it back, and they'll get it across the 25-yard line.
The first final score coming across the score line, if you're watching on Facebook Live, Wanakee 70, Portage 6.
Yeah, and probably the Warriors are upset that they gave up 6 points tonight to Portage. I tell you what, that Wanakee football team year in and year out, they're one of the best.
I mean, how do you keep model of consistency like that? You'll have to ask Coach Rice what he's been. I don't know what is in their water up there, but just a model of consistency and domination.
Yeah, and it definitely start up at the top, and it starts with the varsity football coach. It starts with a good athletic director. They definitely have that in Aaron May, and it just trickles all the way down from Pee Wee football on up in Wanakee. You got to be ready to play when you hit that varsity level, and they are. A great job by Coach Rice.
Well, how many of these schools talk about, we instill those same values at that lower level so that by the time they are ready to play at the high school level, they know what to expect.
Yeah, it's called synergy. It works. It is proven, and they definitely do a great job of it just north of Madison. We are inside of 5 seconds now for the third quarter as this one just flew by. The clock is running here in half number 2. 1 quarter to go for the Dane County Bowl. It's 42-0 MG here on 57 Sports. Each and every week on the sports news, we wrap up all of the area WIAA football action. It is brought to us by Supercharge Foods. Supercharge Foods over on East Washington. I'm Rich Reynolds. Standing next to me is Eric Rogers. Jessa Jeremiah has been providing all of the sideline reports in the halftime show, and all of our crew here tonight bringing you the sights and sounds of the Dane County Bowl presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress, and we have seen one finely tuned machine in the Monona Grove Silver Eagles.
Just a note about what these Friday nights mean. I mean, not only to the students and to the players, the communities, but I really enjoy this, Rich. I mean, you're talking about some of these players are going to go on to do great things, and we're going to be talking about watching them, calling their games, talking about what they've accomplished, and it all starts right here, and these people becoming, great young men.
Yeah, I'm excited that this year, for the first time, we're going to be able to do some playoff games. We got level 1 and level 2 playoffs that we're going to be able to bring you, and that's some exciting stuff, and maybe MG is one of those teams that we'll see in the playoffs as they're wrapping up a playoff berth here tonight.
Very likely, Madison Memorial would appear to have clinched a playoff berth tonight as well, so we could potentially see them when the schedule comes out, and you'll just have to continue to stay tuned.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, and again, we cover it each and every week on the sports news, and again, brought to us by Supercharge Foods. Third down here for Fort. They needed 2. They're going to lose about 4, as that was in the wrong direction there, as Flodine is buried under. And, it's one of those things, too. If you're on that Monona Grove defense, it doesn't matter if you're second string, third string, whoever's playing right now, you want to preserve that shutout. That's always a point of pride for a D.
Absolutely. And, I mean, how many times we've talked about how dominant this Monona Grove defense is and what they've accomplished so far this season. And what Fort Atkinson's struggles have been has been offense. I mean, they're ranking in the lower part of the offense as far as if you're looking at yardage is concerned. I mean, they're 7th in the Badgers South in passing yardage, last in rushing yardage, last in touchdowns and points. So it's been a tough sledding for them this season, but you find the right combination. Maybe, next week things turn around for you against Edgewood.
Punt on the way, and it goes right through the hands of the returner. That is Dylan Matuzik, and luckily he is able to pounce on that football and keep it from being a turnover. Well, as we look ahead for Monona Grove on their schedule after the game today against Fort Atkinson, next week they're going to be hosting Monroe right here at John Clement Stadium. Then they're at Milton. But how about the last 2 weeks of the season? They host Stoughton and then go to Watertown to battle the Goslings. Those 2 weeks will decide the Badger South Conference.
Yeah, so if you thought you were going to be able to cruise through this season, you cannot sleepwalk through the rest of this schedule if you're the Silver Eagles.
We are ready for a sideline report. Jessa Jeremiah's got company. Take it away, Jessa.
All right, thanks, Rich. Yes, we have had the pleasure of watching these guys during halftime. Now, as promised, we are catching up with the coach. This is Molly Burt, the coach for the dance team. Thanks for taking a minute with us.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to talk about our team. We're excited to be here for our second home football game performance of the year. We have 13 members on our team, including one boy. We have the pleasure of getting to travel a little bit in the summer, which sets us up for a whole season. We travel all the way to Iowa, and then we do all the home football games. This is the second one. And then we do about half of the varsity basketball games throughout the year as well, which is a lot of fun to support our fellow teammates in our school. But then we also get to do a little bit of competition throughout the year, get that competitive edge going as well.
And we were talking a little bit off camera about Youth Night because you have the opportunity to work with some of the up-and-coming dancers in the community. So much fun to watch them on the field. So tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, so we have 3 kids clinics that we have. So tonight was our football kids clinic. Kids get to come dance with us, get to work with the team, they get to eat some dinner, and then they get to go run out with some pom-poms and a t-shirt to kind of show their school spirit. It's a lot of fun. We had the greatest turnout to date for our entire program, 58 kids. So we love to see our program growing, and the more involvement, the better.
I don't know what I liked better, watching the kids or watching the parents in the stands be so proud. Both were awesome. I'm going to talk, Molly, to some of your seniors. Now, these are the seniors of the dance team, and all 4 of them are seniors, and the only seniors on the dance team also is noteworthy. So introduce yourself and talk to us a little bit about why you like being part of the team.
I'm Hannah, and I love the team because I feel like we're one of the closest family teams in the school. We're really close. We spend a lot of time together, almost too much time, but not quite. And we're all really close. We know we can go to each other for anything, and it's just really nice to have that kind of community within the school. And then also, I feel like we also represent our school really highly. We have really good involvement throughout the team, and also we have one of the highest GPAs of our entire school. So.
Wow, impressive. That's awesome. Not only academically, but also just, how close-knit you are as a group. So you spend a lot of time together, I imagine, practicing. Tell us a little bit about your practices.
So I'm Presley, but so we tend to start our practices out so we practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Tuesdays, we always sit in a circle and we go around and we do this thing called Rosebud Thorn, where we kind of say something good that happened that day, something not so good, more something bad that happened that day, and then something that we're looking forward to. And it's just kind of a way for us to kind of talk and be aware of what's going on in everybody's life. And then we like to condition every practice, and we warm up together, and then we lead practice, and it's a fun time.
You guys are great, and you get the opportunity to work with those kids who I know look up to you. We got to head back to the game, but I want to make sure we say hey to you two too. Introduce yourselves for the folks at home.
I'm Claire. I'm Lila, and we're just so happy that we get to lead that kids camp because a lot of us did kids camps when we were younger, and it's just great to see the kids coming up to be on our team.
I love it. So much fun. Molly, you're doing a great job with these girls, and thanks so much for watching our Dales Heating and Air sideline court. We'll get back to football.
And thank you, Jessa. Co-Bus and Bus's flag is going to negate a first down for the Silver Eagles. They will keep the ball, though, and make it 3rd down and 11 as a couple of substitutions now, and then running back off the field are the Silver Eagles. Looks like they are ready to go. We've had a few flags here in the second half. On to MG. On third down, it's going to be Banky who keeps it. That RPO was a winner, and Banky made the right option as he takes it across the 40-yard line, and another Silver Eagle first down.
So you keep moving the chain, the clock continues to run, and you look forward to more things. Banky at quarterback, yeah, it might not be a bad option.
Yeah, absolutely. He seems to have this offense down pretty good. He is a senior, and he does seem to execute. The other thing is, dude's got a big arm. He's thrown it long a couple times tonight, and he could really chuck that football. So
yeah, show that off.
Absolutely. It's out of the shotgun still, and a 42-0 game as MG's going to keep it on the ground. And Duncan, who has looked pretty good when he's had his opportunities tonight, gets good yardage on first down.
Well, just a tease of what's coming up here. It looks like Jessa will have a sideline report coming up here, a couple of them. And we might find out about that highlighter color stuff you were talking about earlier in the broadcast.
Are they wearing safety vests too? I don't know.
These kids.
Yeah.
School spirit.
Can't keep track of all that's going on at these schools. She better get to them quick. We got a running clock. So if she wants to talk to all of them and get them on the air, it's going to happen sooner rather than later, as Banky doing a good job of running the football, is across midfield and has another courtesy Ford first down.
So the clock and the chains continue to move for the Silver Eagles. The Silver Eagles will be facing 0-4 Monroe next week, as you brought up already, Rich. Fort Atkinson taking on 1-3 Edgewood. Our broadcast in 57, we're taking our talents to Oregon, where Stoughton comes to town for another Badger South battle.
Yeah, should be a good one. As still running is Duncan, breaks the tackle, still moving down to the 25-yard line, and a pickup of 18 yards. Nice running once again by the senior tailback, Shane Duncan.
Well, not content just to get a couple yards and keep the clock moving. You want to get that first down and maybe even more points.
So 1st and 10 for the Silver Eagles, another courtesy Ford first down. At courtesy Ford, it's courtesy that counts. Still a spread formation for the Silver Eagles, and the give's going to be to Duncan again over the right side. Ooh. And he finds yardage once again, breaks the tackle, and he's inside the 10, and he'll move the sticks once again. Good hard running and a good job of blocking by that offensive line.
Well, you continue to move the chains and prove your worth.
Silver Eagles getting their team in here on 1st and goal to go from the 9-yard line. Right after that, we're going to head back down to the sidelines. Well, let's get this play in as Banky barks out the signals. Give up the middle to Duncan. He'll bounce it to the outside and looking for the end zone, and he will be just shy. Thought that he had it, and they're going to hold him inside the 1-yard line. Let's go down to Jessa, who's got a gaggle around her right now.
Oh, I guess we're going. We're planning. All right, Dale's Heating and Air sideline report. I needed the yell in the ear. We've got Marissa, who is the coach of the Palms team for Fort Atkinson, and you guys are doing awesome. I can see you across the field. Marissa, talk to us a little bit about this team.
Yeah, so our team, we actually cheer and dance. So every single week we cheer at the games, we stunt at the games, and then we also perform at halftime. So we have a lot going on.
Lots to do, so lots of practicing. Practice makes perfect, as they say. So we're going to talk to one of the seniors, who is Kaden. Tell us a little bit about how you guys prepare for these games.
Yeah, the way that we formulate our practices is basically for the first half, we review the dance that we're going to be performing at the game that week, and then we learn new choreography. And then for the second half, we work on game stunts and stuff for maybe like a halftime performance, which is one of our favorite aspects of the team. And then for games, we really focus on getting the crowd involved, getting our student section hyped up and ready to cheer on the Blackhawks.
Well, great things that you guys are doing, and thanks so much for taking a minute with us here on the sidelines. Kate, Molly, and the rest of the Palms team. We're going to head back to break. Thanks so much to Dale's Heating and Air for this sideline report.
And thank you, Jessa. It is a big old lead for the Silver Eagles, 49-0, as we'll be right back for the conclusion of the Dane County Bowl right after this on 57 Sports. Cheerleaders doing the chorus line on the sideline. Silver Eagles huddling up, talking about what they're going to be doing after the game tonight, and that's because they had a big victory this evening. 49-0 is our score, and you said they're the 6th-ranked team in the state. I don't think that's going to change unless they're moving on up with this impressive win here tonight.
Yeah, whether you're facing a team that's considered lesser competition or whether you beat a team that's on par with you, a win like this will still make the voters go, oh, you took care of business. You didn't play down to the competition. You took care of business.
Absolutely. As the Silver Eagles will go to 5-0, they're going to be in the playoffs yet again. I think it's something that even around these parts, maybe they take for granted now that every year is going to be a playoff season, and they are definitely an impressive squad here tonight. So Fort trying to get something moving here as they get it back to the 37-yard line, and that's where they'll handle their business. Clock running inside of the final 2 minutes on the Dane County Bowl. And, you know, stick around because after the show we are going to have the Rosen Nissan plays of the game, and then we'll also have the trophy presentation with that big, nice A1 Furniture trophy that we give out after each and every game, and we'll have all the Silver Eagles standing by for that one.
And Coach Beckwith, one thing we didn't mention in the broadcast yet, Rich, he graduated from Monona Grove in 1996, spent 11 years as an assistant here, so he's well-versed in what this school means to him, and the success is definitely showing.
Yeah, it is tradition here, and the tradition continues with Coach Beckwith. So we also are getting those highlighter colors together. That's what I'm sticking with, is the highlighters. Maybe I'm wrong, as Jessa's assembling them right now. As why don't we send it down to the sidelines one last time. Here's Jessa.
All right, guys, I promised you some excited students. We want to also talk to Fort Atkinson really quick about why they like to come out and support their team, even at away games. What's in it for you? You guys are doing great over there. Cheering on your teams. You're definitely nice and bright.
Well, we're all about one team at Fort Atkinson High, and we're going to support our teammates no matter what. So we're just here to cheer them on.
You guys got a cheer ready to go? What's one of your favorites you can send us up to?
Whip it. Whip it. Ready? WHIPIT, whip it to a victory. Say whip it. Woo! Whip it good.
Still plenty of spirit here on the sidelines, even though they're not going to be taking away the big trophy tonight. We are going to get back to Rich and Eric up in the box.
A spirited group. Fort showed a lot of fight tonight, but in the end, it was just too much Silver Eagles as the final ticks are going off the clock tonight. A 49-0 Monona Grove victory, as boy, oh boy, nothing that you could say about this team but good things when it comes to Coach Beckwith's Silver Eagles.
Well, we'll talk with him momentarily and see what he's looking ahead to after a big win like that. And, man, let's preview that.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead, send it right back down to Jessa Jeremiah. Post-game time right here, right now on 57 Sports. Jessa, it's all you.
All right, it's a little bit of ping pong here. We're up, we're down. You're back to me here on the sidelines. We are looking forward to giving away this great trophy. It's the A1 Furniture and Mattress post-game award ceremony. I got to tell you, this is one of the favorite things that we get to do here, maybe all year, but definitely at the football game, is give away this big trophy, because we usually have a very excited group of football players. I don't see any reason it should be any different here at Monona Grove. The Silver Eagles are about to get this trophy right after the break here at the A1 Furniture Dane County Bowl. Stay with us.
Time now to check out the Rosen Nissan plays of the game, as the Rosen Nissan folks would like you to test drive a new Kicks. As we saw early on, a lot of different guys that scored for the Monona Grove Silver Eagles. That was Ethan Boehner who got the scoring going tonight.
Yeah, 5 different Silver Eagles players found the end zone tonight. Duncan had a couple of them, both rushing touchdowns, short rushing touchdowns, but definitely a lot of big plays and effort plays on both sides tonight.
And we also saw a lot of dominant line play on both sides of the line tonight by the Silver Eagles. There was just no running room at all for Fort to get going.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because we've seen it. Look at this, like, just pursuit to the ball on every play. it didn't get brought up a lot in the broadcast of just how much more, I don't want to say dominant, but powerful Monona Grove's line was. And it's just, they knew their assignments and hitting the gaps in the right places, and it showed.
You see one of the few negative plays of the game tonight. It was a punt that kind of went bad for Jordan Bishop. But Bishop had a lot of good as you see him hit McConley here as he's able to fight his way down the sidelines. And I tell you what, Jordan Bishop had big shoes to fill, both literally and figuratively, stepping in for Alec Ogden, who was very good here last year. And he looks the part. I mean, this guy looks like a starting quarterback for a top-flight program.
Yeah, Southpaw, we've seen a couple of those this year, and the ability to keep the ball and run with it, that's going to be huge for them as they continue to pound their way through the Badger South.
Yeah, and especially as the competition's going to get a lot tougher, as there was the hit there by the freshman kicker for MG Houston, and all of his team loved that one on the kickoff. And then we also got to see a lot of that man right there. Peyton Spalding had himself a game.
He absolutely did find the end zone, and he was catching balls out of the backfield, running, kicked backwards, and we did see some balls scored out of there. And
yeah, that happened too. My only regret of the whole night was that Peyton Spalding wasn't stopped for no gain, so I could have said, Spalding, you'll get nothing and like it.
Nothing.
Yeah, I just it never materialized. I wanted it. I wanted my Caddyshack moment, but it just didn't come to be because there was just too much good. Even Killer Lane here going for a touchdown as the Silver Eagles scored all kinds of ways. And then how about this throw by Banky? Wow, as he hits Reeder for the long touchdown.
Nice to just float that in over the defender's head, and all of that leads to a 49-0 MG victory.
Yeah,
so, Rich,
a big one there, as we will have the trophy presentation coming up next right here from Clements Stadium in Monona Grove on 57 Sports.
Welcome back to the A1 Furniture and Mattress Dane County Bowl. You're just tuning in. The Monona Grove Silver Eagles have put a lot of points on the scoreboard tonight and are deserving of this trophy, so we are going to hand it over. Coach, congratulations on behalf of 57 Sports and A1 Furniture. And I know Rich and Eric have some questions for you, so I'll let you guys kind of sneak in.
You know, Coach, Eric and I were talking about it during the broadcast a lot tonight, and that's about the tradition here. And you inherited a winning tradition from Coach Stassi. You've kept that winning tradition going. You're used to getting trophies. How do you feel, though, about getting a trophy at the end of this season? That's a good squad you got here.
We got a great squad, and we talk all the time about the scoreboard, and really we don't even look at the scoreboard. We grew tonight as a program and as a bunch of kids and as young men, and I couldn't be prouder of how they performed.
Well, a lot to be said about your guys, your just domination throughout the season, the points put on the board. What do you learn most about a team like this that, if you look at the numbers, you would have thought, Fort Atkinson, we can win, but now you put it on the board and you did it. So what do you learn about that?
Yeah, we talk all week. It's really just about us, and it doesn't matter who our opponent is. We got to get better each play. We challenged our players tonight to take pride in every single rep, and they'll be grading themselves after the game, and they'll see what their percentages of great plays were, so we always keep working to get better every week, and we always have stuff to work on, but I'm proud of the steps we took forward tonight.
We talk so much about quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, stuff like that throughout the game, although tonight I think it was the line play that really was impressive for me. Which one was better, the offensive line or the defensive line?
I'm going to say this honestly. I've been a defensive coordinator, so I come from that side of the ball. I have been an offensive coordinator, but I could be proud of our coaching staff and what they did and put this crew on the field. So, thank you.
Beautiful job, both sides of the line. Great political answer as well. Congratulations, Coach, on a well-deserved victory tonight. Good luck the rest of the way, and we thank you all for watching. Hey, great job by all of our crew. For Jessica Jeremiah, for Eric Rogers, I'm Rich Reynolds. We'll see you next week from Oregon. You've been watching the Dane County Bowl right here on 57 Sports.